Hey goddesses, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing a very important reason why you may be having trouble manifesting what you want. So it's one thing to know your desire, to write it out, to have a vision board. Let's say you want to manifest a Lamborghini or a dream house or even your dream body, looks, whatever. You can have an image of that in your mind or on a vision board or even writing it in your journal. That's a great start to it. However, you have to take that a little bit further. And this is where a lot of people have trouble. And so I actually wrote about this in my journal and I made a diagram and I'll put that on the screen when I get to the important part. Everyone's different, but if the more detail of the vision helps you see it in a realistic way, then do that. But if that trips you up and it kind of discourages you because it's too specific, you can go general with your vision. Like instead of saying, I want a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house that's painted blue on the outside, you can just say, I would like to have a house that has adequate space, more than what I need, and that I feel good in. That's a generalization of a specific image if you're not sure. Again, do what works for you and what helps you see it in the most realistic way possible. So I want you to split yourself into two people. So you can draw this if you want, or you can just write a list of characteristics in one column on the left. I want you to title it old. And then I want you to split that and put another column next to it on the right called new. Now, under the old column, you can draw yourself, or you can just list out old ways of thinking, maybe current ways of thinking too. Like if you're having a tough time and you see yourself not getting what you visualize, you can put doesn't have what I want, struggling, lacking, constantly disappointed. These are some of the things that I wrote in mine. And this is the low vibration old version of myself. You can put unhappy, poor, not in the best shape, constantly worrying, constantly stressing. Whatever it is that you're having an issue with right now, write that in the old column, okay? Then what I want you to do is on the right column where it says new, I want you to write exactly all the idealistic things that you see yourself in your new life. And this can be your wildest fantasy type thing. So you can put rich, happy, never struggling, pleasantly surprised all the time, all goals achieved, everything always works out for me. These are some of the things I put here. You can put rich, you could put own 7 Lambos, you can put millionaire by age, blah, 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 blah. And if you're a visual learner, you might want to either draw a picture, or if you can't draw, then maybe get some magazine clippings of a person that resembles you, that looks kind of close to you, in a depiction where they're happy, where they're glowing. And remember, everybody's brain works a little differently. So if you don't think it's conceivable for you to have 7 Lambos, don't put that because you're gonna block it. So instead you can go general, and instead of listing items, you can list feelings like I feel wealthy, I feel healthy, I feel abundance around me, I feel secure, financially secure, I feel amazed at what life has brought me. This is an important part, okay? There's 2 versions of yourself existing. The old version, where you don't get anything that you want, where you're struggling, where you have desires, but you're having trouble manifesting them. And that's not a happy feeling to have. And then there's another version of you where you have everything that you've ever wanted and then some, okay? Two very polar opposite versions of one person, you, okay? So it doesn't make sense, but just think about it. Follow me here. So in the middle of the line between your old self and your new self, I want you to draw an X. Now mine is small, but you can make yours big, okay? Make a big X. And the X represents the point where your old self and your new self meet. You can even take it a step farther and draw the two versions of yourselves shaking hands, saying, "Nice to meet you." And you want to do that because this is where your old self and your new self meet for the first time. So instead of having two separate realities where it's hard for your brain to fathom these two polar opposites existing in the same realm, it's more likely that you're seeing them as completely separate, making your new self extremely hard to obtain, damn near impossible to obtain. Okay, we don't want that. We want your new self to be just as believable and feasible as your old self, because you already know your old self is reality. I mean, everybody goes through struggles and worries and faces disappointments and things that they don't want. So our brain can already perceive that as reality. It has no trouble, recognizing that. The thing that it has trouble recognizing is your new self, where you're constantly happy, constantly successful, getting everything that your heart desires, okay? So in order to make the new self more feasible, we want your old self and the new self to shake hands and to meet at the X, which is the meeting point. Now it doesn't seem so far-fetched. Now your brain will build a bridge between the two lifestyles. Slowly but surely, based on the multiple books I've read about quantum physics and self-image and psychology, but when you have a bad habit, which is being pessimistic, always assuming the worst, those are bad habits, right? How do you break a bad habit? Do you just break it? No, science shows that you don't just break a bad habit, because if you've been thinking like this for like 10 to 20 years, it's going to be really hard to just break that cold turkey, okay? So instead, what science has revealed is you slowly start introducing a new habit, and you slowly start to replace the bad habit with the new habit. So they commingle like the X, okay? And eventually, because the new habit is going to be more positive and make you feel better, you're naturally going to go towards the new habit, okay? It's slowly going to replace your bad ones. And so this is why it's important when you're manifesting that you take the two different versions of yourself and you create a meeting point and you visualize them shaking hands and getting acquainted with each other, because eventually the new personality is going to overtake the old version of yourself. Okay? Well, I hope that helps you understand this concept. And again, like and subscribe my video if you're interested in hearing more information and knowledge of how you can manifest the life that you desire. Thank you. Take care.